Welcome to today's video. Today we are starting our new unit topic on polynomials, and we're going to focus today on finding the sum and the difference of these polynomials. Again, we want to show that mastery by scoring at least an 80% on an exit ticket. Hopefully you have your polynomials booklet in front of you. If not, you better find it because we're not making extra copies, and also take out a separate sheet of paper so you can write these problems down. Now, when it comes to adding polynomials, this goes back to the very beginning of the year where we want to combine our like terms. However, now there's exponents involved. The big thing you need to keep in mind, we do not add the exponents. Just because we combine like terms doesn't mean you combine the exponents. It's like saying 3 oranges and 4 oranges make 7 oranges. Well, they're not called oranges, it's just 7 oranges. When we subtract, the big thing we need to do is distribute that negative to every term inside the parentheses. This negative is going to be like multiplying by a -1. Then we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to combine our like terms. Now, if we look at adding to start, I'm going to combine like terms. So I have -4x squared, or k to the fourth, and -3k to the fourth, which gives me -7k to the fourth. If I look, and I'm going to use different colors, I have +14 and -8, which gives me a +6. And then I have +3k squared and -14k squared, which gives me -11k squared. Now, although you've combined all your like terms, there's nothing else we can combine. The one thing we need to keep in mind with polynomials, it needs to be alphabetical, and then it needs to be descending your order of your exponents. So not only is it alphabetical order like we've been working on with exponents, it needs to be in descending order of those exponents. In number 1, I only have k, so I'm not worried about the alphabetical order, but I need to go in descending order. So my largest exponent is -7k to the fourth. Well, then the next is k squared, so I'm going to do -11k squared, and then my constant +6. This is your final answer. The answer where you combine like terms, although yes, you combine them correctly, it is not your correct answer because we need to keep them in descending order. If we look at example 2, well, if I look at my 3, I don't have any other constant, so I'm just going to bring that 3 down. Now, if I have -6 n to the 5th power, and I have -8 n to the 5th power, which gives me -14 n to the 5th power. Then I have my -8 n to the 4th, and I have -6 n to the 4th, which gives me -14 n to the 4th. Now, I'm done with my first set of parentheses, but I have this -3n. Since I can't combine it, I'm just going to bring it down. Again, although we've combined our like terms, we need to put them in descending order. So it's going to be -14 n to the 5th minus 14 n to the 4th minus 3n plus 3. That becomes your final answer. My exponents are in descending order. It's 5, 4, 1, and then a constant. Your constant will always come last. It's like having an exponent of 0 because there is no exponent, so it will always come last. Now, if we look at example 3, we have multiple exponents within the same terms. That's okay. We're still going to combine them the same way. I have 6x squared y, so that means my other term has to have an x squared and a y. Well, I have a 3x squared y, so that gives me 9x squared y. My next term, I have a +2y and a +4y, gives me +6y squared. And then last, I have a +4x and a +2x, which gives me +6x. Now, if we look here, we have x squared y y squared, and x. We cannot combine any more terms because our variables and our exponents have to be the same to be able to combine them. Now, this goes back to the top. We need it alphabetical order first, so x comes before y, and then I need it descending. So if I look, my first term is going to be 9x squared y. X is before y in the alphabet, and x squared is greater than x. My next term is going to be that x though. This is where the alphabetical order comes in. X, even though it has a smaller exponent than y squared, x is first in the alphabet. So we want to make sure that this x right here comes before that y because it's first in the alphabet, even though the exponent is larger. I now have x squared, x to the first, and then I can start my y's. Now, when we talk about subtracting, again, we still want it to be alphabetical order and descending. But what we need to keep in mind is this subtraction symbol is like distributing a -1 to all my terms. So now I have 5x squared plus 3x minus 1 minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 4. So now when I combine my like terms, and I'm going to use a highlighter so I don't run out of room, I have 5x squared and negative 3x squared. I have 3x and negative 2x, and then I have a 1 and a 4. So if we combined our highlights, I end up with 2x squared, 2x squared plus x plus 3. Well, if I look, I am in alphabetical order because they're all x's, and my exponents decrease. I have a positive 2, a positive 1, and then no exponent. So that is your descending order. That is your final answer. If we look at our next problem, again, we're going to distribute that -1 to all of our terms. So we have 8n minus 3n to the 4 plus 10n squared. -1 times 3 is -3n squared minus 11n to the 4 plus 7. Please make sure you distribute that -1. If you only put it to the first term, your answer is going to not work out and it's going to be incorrect. So now again, I'm going to use my highlighter. 8n has nothing to combine with, so we don't have to highlight that. I have -3n to the 4th, and I have -11n to the 4th. If I look, now I have positive 10n squared and a -3n squared that are going to combine. And then I have my constant at the end, which doesn't combine. So now I have, if I put them in descending order, my n to the 4th are going to come first, and it's going to be -14n to the 4th plus 7n squared plus 8n plus 7. That's going to be your final answer. My variables are alphabetized because they're all n, so they need to be in descending order. Well, I go from 4 to 2 to 1 to none. So make sure it's in descending order. Now, the last one. Again, we want to distribute that -1. So we have 5x squared y plus 3y squared minus 3x squared y plus 2y squared. So now, again, we want to combine like terms. 5x squared y and -3x squared y combined. Also, 3y squared and 2y squared combined. This leaves me with 2x squared y plus 5y squared. Now for this one, again, we want to make sure we're alphabetical order and descending. Well, x comes before y in the alphabet, so my x's need to come first, and they do. I have 2x squared first. Please make sure when you do these. Circle your like terms. If you prefer highlighter, highlight the different like terms. But make sure, as part of a like term, the exponents need to match each other. Don't add them together, but make sure you have n to the second added to the coefficient of n to the second. You can't add n to the second and n to the fourth. Please bring your notes and any questions you have to class tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you then.